is six-time Mr. Olympia.
There it is.
Phil, the gift.
Phil Heath makes it 6 in a row, tying Dorian Yates.
Samson Dauda!
Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we've got a head-to-head showdown that's sure to spark some heated debates. Phil Heath, the 7-time Mr. Olympia and one of the greatest bodybuilders of all time, going up against Samson Dauda, the reigning 2024 Mr. Olympia champion. This comparison isn't just about poses. It's about legacies, physiques, and what makes a champion in two different eras of bodybuilding. Can Samson Dauda, with his incredible size and aesthetics, hold his own against the gift, Phil Heath, who dominated the stage with his unmatched detail and 3D muscle bellies? Stick around because we're breaking down every pose and you don't want to miss our final verdict. So let's start. Starting with the front double biceps pose is where Phil shows his dominance. His arms are insane in this pose. His biceps look like giant softballs popping out of his arms with incredible peaks that seem almost unreal. It's like every part of his arms is exploding with size and detail. His forearms are also massive and flow perfectly into his biceps and shoulders, creating an amazing look. One of the most impressive things about Phil in this pose is his 3D effect. It's like his arms, chest, and lats are jumping out of the screen, creating a crazy illusion of depth. His conditioning is next level too. You can see striations in his quads, and his abs are deeply separated, which makes his entire physique look sharp and polished. Now, let's talk about Samson in this pose. He brings a completely different vibe, but it's equally impressive in its way. While Samson's arms may not have the same insane peaks as Phil's, they are still big, round, and very balanced. What makes Samson stand out in this pose is his structure. His wide clavicles and super small waist create an amazing V-taper that draws your eyes right to his physique. His quads are another highlight. They're not just big but also deeply separated, with an outward sweep that gives him a beautiful, classic, and aesthetic look. Compared to Phil's dense and compact frame, Samson looks more elegant and artistic. It's a very close comparison, but this round goes to Phil Heath. His sheer arm size, insane peaks, and that jaw-dropping 3D effect are hard to compete with. However, it's important to note that Samson's structure and flow make him a very strong contender. He brings a unique aesthetic that can't be overlooked, but in this pose, Phil's freak factor gives him the edge. Next up is the front lat spread, and this pose highlights the unique strengths of both athletes. Starting with Phil Heath, he dominates this pose when it comes to thickness. His lats flare out wide, almost like massive wings, but what sets Phil apart is the incredible density of his upper body. Every single inch of his torso is packed with thick, detailed muscle. His chest and shoulders are full and round, adding even more size and power to this pose. However, Phil's slightly narrower clavicles do hold him back a little when it comes to overall width. While his thickness is unmatched, the lack of a naturally wide frame becomes noticeable, especially when compared to someone with Samson's structure. Speaking of Samson Dauda, his structure shines in this pose. His wide clavicles give him a stunning V-taper, which immediately grabs your attention. His lats flare out beautifully, creating a dramatic and aesthetic shape. While Samson doesn't bring the same level of 3D thickness and density as Phil, his pose flows more naturally and is visually pleasing. His waist is incredibly tight, which enhances the taper even further. However, Samson does lack some conditioning in this pose. His abs aren't visible, which takes away from the sharpness of his look. That said, his quads sweep out beautifully and add a balanced, lower body presence that complements his overall structure. When it comes to judging this pose, it all depends on what you value most. If you're looking for width and structure, Samson makes a strong case for winning. His dramatic shape and flow are hard to ignore. But if your priority is density, thickness, and muscle detail, then Phil Heath is the clear choice here. In this comparison, Phil Heath takes the win. His unmatched thickness and incredible muscularity give him the edge, even though Samson's structure and flow make it a close battle. Moving on to the side chest pose, this is where Phil Heath truly showcases why he's a legend. His chest is an absolute masterpiece, thick, round, and covered in striations that show just how dialed in his conditioning is. His shoulders and arms are massive, almost like cannonballs, adding an extra level of power and dominance to this pose. What sets Phil apart here is how everything ties together so perfectly. His chest, shoulders, arms, and legs all work in harmony to create a 3D look that's almost impossible to match. His hamstrings sweep out dramatically, showing incredible development and balance in his lower body. This pose is a complete package for Phil. Everything about it screams perfection. Now, let's take a look at Samson Dauda in the side chest pose. Samson's version of this pose is also very impressive in its way. His chest is full, round, and well developed, and his shoulders and arms connect seamlessly, giving him a polished and balanced look. His hamstrings are deeply separated, which adds to the overall aesthetic of his lower body. Samson's presentation is smooth, elegant, and undeniably classic. However, what he lacks in this pose is the pop and density that Phil brings to the table. While Samson has an incredible physique, in this pose he doesn't quite have that eye-catching level of thickness and detail that makes Phil so dominant. And the winner is clear. Phil Heath takes this one. His chest thickness, overall density, and perfect flow put him ahead even against a competitor as talented as Samson. Now, let's talk about the back double biceps pose, which is often considered the ultimate test of a bodybuilder's overall development. Phil Heath's back is legendary for a reason. His traps are thick and massive and stand out like mountains. His lats are not only wide but also packed with insane detail, showing every striation and groove. His lower back is etched with deep, visible lines that highlight his conditioning. What's even more impressive is how complete his arms look from the back. They are just as full, round, and detailed as they are from the front. Adding to this, his hamstrings and glutes are dry and shredded, showcasing top-tier conditioning. Phil's back double biceps are often regarded as one of the best in bodybuilding history, and for good reason. But here's where Samson Dauda brings something different, something special. Samson's back in this pose is wide, thick, and incredibly detailed, making him stand out uniquely. His lats are full and well developed, flaring out dramatically to create a stunning V-taper. His traps are also highly developed and add a lot of depth to his upper body. His lower back shows impressive separation, highlighting his improvements in conditioning. Samson's hamstrings are dry and his calves are strong and well-shaped, which adds balance and completes his look from the back. In this pose, Samson Dauda takes the win decisively. While Phil's back double biceps is iconic, Samson's combination of width, detail, and the improvements he's made make his back stand out as one of the best in the sport right now. Samson has elevated his game to a whole new level, and his back in this pose is simply on another level, even against someone as great as Phil Heath. Let's move on to the back lat spread, a pose that highlights the strength, density, and balance of the entire posterior chain. Starting with Phil Heath, his back lat spread is incredible. It's all about density, muscularity, and conditioning, and Phil delivers on all fronts. His traps and lats form a solid wall of muscle that looks completely impenetrable. The level of detail in his back is second to none, with every muscle group clearly visible and deeply separated. His lower body perfectly complements his powerful upper body, with striated glutes and thick, conditioned hamstrings that complete the pose. Phil's back lat spread is the definition of dominance, pure muscle combined with razor-sharp conditioning. On the other hand, Samson Dauda brings his strengths to this pose. The standout feature of Samson is his width. His lats flare out dramatically, creating an impressive and aesthetic silhouette that immediately catches your eye. His wide structure gives him a stunning V-taper, and his lower body adds to the overall package. Samson's hamstrings are dry and his calves are well developed, giving him great balance from top to bottom. However, while Samson's width is undeniably impressive, he lacks the insane thickness and density that Phil brings to this pose. Phil's back simply has more layers of muscle, making it hard for anyone to match. In this comparison, Phil Heath takes the win. His back lat spread is just too dense, detailed, and powerful to be beaten, even by someone as impressive as Samson. While Samson's width and structure are strong points, Phil's unmatched muscularity and conditioning give him the edge in this pose. Now, let's break down the side tricep pose, a test of arm development, midsection conditioning, and overall flow. Starting with Phil Heath, his triceps are incredibly thick and deeply separated, showcasing the density and muscularity that he's known for. His conditioning is excellent in this pose, with his triceps looking sharp and powerful. However, one area where Phil falls short is his chest and midsection. In this pose, his chest lacks that crisp definition and his abs don't appear as sharp or clear, especially when viewed from the side. This gives his midsection a somewhat flat and less impressive look compared to his usual standard. On the other hand, Samson Dauda brings a completely different style to this pose. His triceps are big, full, and well-rounded, creating an impressive visual impact. But what sets Samson apart is his tight midsection, which gives this pose a cleaner and more aesthetic look. His abs are sharp and well-defined, providing a striking contrast to Phil's less defined midsection. Additionally, Samson's chest and shoulders flow seamlessly into the pose, creating a balanced and polished presentation. His lower body also contributes to his overall look, with strong legs that add symmetry and completeness to the pose. This one is very close, but Samson Dauda edges it out. While Phil's triceps are undeniably thick and detailed, Samson's cleaner midsection, sharper abs, and overall flow give him the advantage in this pose. Samson's ability to combine aesthetics with balance makes him stand out just a bit more here. Moving on to the abs and thigh pose, this is where both bodybuilders really try to show off their best features, highlighting their abdominal definition and leg development. Starting with Phil Heath, his abs are thick and blocky, showcasing his strength, but they lack the sharpness and separation that this pose demands. While his abs are solid, they don't have the clean, crisp look that some other competitors bring to this pose. His quads, on the other hand, are massive and impressive, with visible striations that show his incredible leg development. However, his overall presentation in this pose is slightly hindered by his midsection, which doesn't have the same level of definition and separation as his quads or other parts of his physique. In contrast, Samson Dauda truly shines in the abs and thigh pose. His abs are tight, well-defined, and sharply defined, showing off a level of core control and conditioning that stands out. His quads sweep out beautifully with deep cuts, adding to the overall impact of his physique. Samson's structure is just perfect for this pose, and his flow is smooth and balanced, which makes the entire presentation come together effortlessly. The aesthetics and clean lines of his physique give him an edge here. In this comparison, Samson Dauda wins convincingly. His aesthetic appeal, sharp abs, and clean presentation in this pose are hard to beat. Samson's conditioning and overall flow make him the clear winner in this battle of the abs and thighs. Finally, in the most muscular pose, Phil Heath dominates. In this pose, he looks like a human action figure, with every muscle in his body on full display. His chest, shoulders, and arms are massive, detailed, and well-defined, showing off the immense size and conditioning he's known for. His traps pop out like mountains, adding an extra layer of intensity to the pose. The sheer size and muscularity of his upper body create an imposing, almost overwhelming look. On top of that, Phil's conditioning is spot on, with every muscle deeply separated, making him look like a complete monster. It's hard to deny how impressive his overall presence is in this pose. On the other hand, Samson Dauda brings a more balanced and aesthetically pleasing version of the most muscular pose. His chest is full and rounded, his shoulders have a great flow, and his quads add to the overall impact. While his physique is impressive, he lacks the same freaky density and sheer size that Phil brings to this pose. Samson's version of the most muscular looks great, but it doesn't have that overwhelming, jaw-dropping effect that Phil delivers. In this final comparison, Phil Heath takes the win. His sheer size, detail, and conditioning are simply too much for anyone to match, including Samson. Phil's muscularity in this pose is overwhelming, making it clear that he's the standout here. While Samson Dauda brings incredible aesthetics, structure, and flow to the stage, Phil Heath's unmatched muscle density, detail, and conditioning give him the edge in this comparison. However, it's important to remember that this isn't just about stats and numbers. Samson's ability to stand toe-to-toe with a bodybuilding legend like Phil Heath in this hypothetical showdown highlights just how far he's come and why he's currently the reigning Mr. Olympia. His physique is a testament to the progress of bodybuilding in the new era, and it's exciting to see how he stacks up against a champion like Phil. Now the big question, who do you think takes the crown in this epic clash of bodybuilding legends? Is it Phil Heath with his unmatched legacy and freaky muscle bellies, or Samson Dauda with his massive size and aesthetic flow? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. As always, if you enjoyed this comparison and want more in-depth bodybuilding breakdowns, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. We've got plenty more content coming your way. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.